Greetings. Happy Saturday. I believe it's the first day of spring. It's a new day, and we are blessed to be here and see it. So, greetings and welcome to Storytime at 5 on Facebook Live with Dr. Tinsley. This is my 6th day sharing stories, and I hope to share a read aloud every day as long as we're dealing with this coronavirus to bring a sense of stability and security and predictability, if you will, to young children and to people, to adults and people of all ages. I love story. I read children's books. Um, I buy children's books for me, and I'm happy to share them with you. So I'm going to try to read, to vary. Some days it'll be one book, and some days it will be two. But I will always try to definitely read a book geared for young children first. So, um, I look forward to this read aloud, and I hope that you and your children do too. Hi, Jill, and hi, Camille. I'm glad to see you two have joined me. Um, so the first book that I'm going to read for you today is called Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. Children love this story. Hi, Val and Olivia. These are my regulars now. Love you, love you. Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. The author is Bill Martin Jr. and John Archambault, and it's illustrated by Lois Elhart. And as you see, the pages show all the alphabets, A through Z. Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. A told B and B told C, "I'll meet you at the top of the coconut tree." "We," said D to EFG, "I'll beat you to the top of the coconut tree." Chicka chicka boom boom, will there be enough room? Here comes H up the coconut tree. And I and J and tag along K all on their way up the coconut tree. Chicka chicka boom boom, will there be enough room? Look who's coming. LMNOP. And QRS and TUV. Still more W and XYZ. The whole alphabet up the... Oh no. Chicka chicka boom boom. Skit scat skittle dot flip flop flee. Everybody running to the coconut tree. Mamas and papas and uncles and aunts hug their little dears and then dust their pants. "Help us up," cried ABC. Next from the pile of skinny D and stub toe E and patched up F. Then comes G, all out of breath. H is tangled up with I. J and K are about to cry. L is knotted like a tie. M is looped, N is stooped, O is twisted alley-oop. Skit, scat, scoodle, doop, flip, flop, flee. Look who's coming. It's Black Eyed Pea, QRS, and Loose Tooth T. Then UVW, Wiggle Jiggle Free, last to come XYZ, and the sun goes down on the coconut tree. But chicka chicka boom boom, look, there's a full moon. A is out of bed, and this is what he said. Dare, double dare, you can't catch me. I'll beat you to the top of the coconut tree. Chicka, chicka, boom, boom. And that's your alphabet. Chicka, chicka, boom, boom. A to Z. And that, my dear readers and friends, is the end. So let me see who's joined us so I can say hi. So I said hi to Jill and Camille, Val and her granddaughter Olivia, Camille, Stephen, hi Mona, hi Niamo, hi Pierre Henderson, Terry, Drakeford and Sue, hey Jim, hi Sam, hi Niamo, I got to recall you, Namibia, your daughter. And oh, Mona, thank you so much. You've been a lifelong friend to me, too. I am enjoying this time sharing stories. And I wanted to talk about this month is Women's History Month. And so it's important that we highlight the achievements of people of color and women and all people all year. But it's also important to take a little extra time to highlight them during their month. So the next book I'm going to read is about Harriet Tubman. But before I read it, I wanted to share a poem that my students loved about Harriet Tubman. Yesterday, one of the books that I read was the day before, Africa Dream by Eloise Greenfield. Well, in this book, it's a poem by about Harriet Tubman. And it's called Harriet Tubman. And I'm going to read this first. Harriet Tubman didn't take no stuff, wasn't scared of nothing neither. Didn't come in this world to be no slave, and wasn't going to stay one either. Farewell, she sang to her friends one night. She was mighty sad to leave 'em, but she ran away that dark, hot night, ran looking for her freedom. She ran to the woods, and she ran through the woods with the slave catchers right behind her, and she kept on going till she got to the north, where those mean men couldn't find her. 19 times she went back south to get 300 others. She ran for her freedom 19 times to save black sisters and brothers. Harriet Tubman didn't take no stuff, wasn't scared of nothing neither. Didn't come in this world to be no slave, and didn't stay one either. And that's from the collection Honey I Love by Eloise Greenfield. Now, before I read the next book, I just want to say for the children that are watching, a long, long, long time ago, before your grandparents were born and before my grandparents were born, African people were captured from the continent of Africa by white people and brought to the United States and many other places around the world. It was a terrible time. Some terrible things happened. And during that time, there was one woman who was very, very fearless to help free the people that had been captured. Those people were enslaved. So people referred to them as slaves, but they were enslaved. That means somebody controlled them. And Harriet Tubman was a fearless black woman who did everything she could to help free her people. And so the book that we're going to read is called Aunt Harriet's Underground Railroad. In the Sky, On Harriet's Underground Railroad in the Sky by Faith Ringgold. One of our first stories we read was by Faith Ringgold, and it talked about Tar Beach. So in this one, let's see what kind of journey they go on Harriet's Underground Railroad in the Sky. Hello to everyone that joined us. on Harriet's Underground Railroad in the sky. This is a little wordier story. One day, my baby brother BB and I were flying among the stars way, way up. So far up, the mountains looked like pieces of rock candy and the oceans like tiny cups of tea. We came across an old ramshackle train in the sky. A tiny woman in a conductor's uniform appeared on the steps of the train and announced the schedule. All aboard! All aboard! Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Niagara Falls, Canada. All aboard! All aboard! Hundreds of bedraggled men, women, and children filled the sky and boarded the dusty old wooden train. No one spoke. It was like watching a silent movie. Come on, Cassie, BB said, jumping up on the train. Let's take a ride. Oops, sorry. Get off that train, BB. I'll tell Mommy and Daddy, and you will be in a world of trouble. But the train quickly moved off through the sky and disappeared. All I could see now were flashing lights sending a threatening message through a sea of clouds. Go free, north or die. Go free, north or die. Go free, north or die. Baby, come back. Mommy and Daddy will never forgive me for letting you go, I screamed. Then the woman conductor's voice came like a soft whisper in my ear. Hello, Cassie. I am Harriet Tubman. People called me Aunt Harriet because I take care of them. In slavery, I carried hundreds of men, women, and children to freedom on the Underground Railroad and never lost a passenger. This was not a real train, boys and girls. This was a make-believe train. It was a way of people helping to free people, but it wasn't a real train they went on. Let me tell you about slavery, Cassie, Aunt Harriet said. We were brought here from Africa as slaves to work long hours on plantations for no pay. More of us died on the ships coming over than ever reached these shores. If we tried to escape or were caught, we might have a foot cut off or got sold away from our families, and then we never saw our families and friends again. These were sad times, boys and girls. A legal or church marriage was not allowed, so instead a man and woman would jump the broom. It was against the law for a slave to learn to read or write. Or have a meeting even to preach the word of God. Every 100 years, that old train would follow the same route I traveled on the Underground Railroad so that we will never forget the cost of freedom. Sometimes the train, remember I said it wasn't a real train, sometimes the train is a farmer's wagon. Sometimes it is a hearse covered with flowers. Inside, a live slave hides in a coffin. You missed this train, Cassie, but you can follow, always one step behind. When we reach freedom in Canada, you will be reunited with BB. Cassie, though you can fly, being a slave will suck you to the ground like quicksand. You will have to walk many miles through the woods and waters on blistered feet, and there will be bounty hunters eager to collect the reward on your head. Follow the North Star. In daylight, look for moss growing on the side of the tree that faces north. Along the way, there will be Underground Railroad agents to give you a place to stay, clean clothes, and food. But until you reach Canada, you are not safe. Go and don't turn back, and remember, if you are caught, you will be severely punished. First, you must escape from the slave plantation. Tell no one. Wait until nightfall so you will not be seen. Then follow the trail through the woods to a gray farmhouse on the river. Your first night will be the hardest. Listen carefully to the song of the birds. When you are in danger, their song will become screams that only you can hear. Then you must stop and head in the opposite direction. When you lie down to rest, you will hear me sing the old spiritual. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell, O Pharaoh, let my people go. Let me lullaby you to sleep. When I stop singing and you hear the birds scream, wake up and move on. I reached the gray farmhouse on the river. I slept in the farmer's attic. It was dark and scary. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling like gray ghosts. But the farmer and his wife were very kind. There was a note under the pillow. Dear Cassie, I am very frightened, but I am a big boy and will not turn back. Love, BB. Then Aunt Harriet's voice came like a gust of wind. Follow the river north until you reach a clapboard house with green shutters and a red brick chimney. There will be a blind railroad agent who will ask you to sing a song. You will sing, Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell, O Pharaoh, let my people go. She will give you food and a place to sleep. By nightfall, you must be on your way through the woods. I found BB's baseball cap floating in a swamp. It was worn to shreds. I squeezed the mud out of it. Leave the cap, Cassie, Aunt Harriet's whispering voice said. Go to a weather-beaten frame house with a star quilt flung on the roof. If you don't see the quilt, hide in the woods until it appears. Then it is safe to go in. The next night, follow the road to the bridge several miles away. I traveled through the woods and swamps. I was cold, wet, and very hungry, but I could not turn back. When I reached the bridge, I hid in a graveyard overlooking the river. It was there I found BB's toy soldiers and a set of his baseball cards buried alongside the grave of a boy BB's age. I was too afraid to cry. I lay awake till I heard Aunt Harriet's familiar whisper, Wait for a railroad agent disguised as a gravedigger. He will say, I will bring you a ticket for the railroad. Now the tears came streaming down my cheeks like rain. I would see BB soon, soon, soon. In a tiny yellow house on the edge of the city, a little girl my age gave me a ticket for the steam car and sewed a fake pass to freedom she had made on my undershirt. It read, Cassie Louise Lightfoot, free-born in New York. Show that to anyone who tries to take you back to the slave's plantation, she said. I reached the back door of a shoemaker's house and knocked 3 times. That time I slept in a secret room behind a bookcase. BB had been there and left another note. Dear Cassie, I have a new baby sister. She was born today. Her name is Freedom. Her mother got sick and went to heaven. She let me carry baby Freedom on my back. Love, BB. After a few days' rest, I started out again with new shoes the shoemaker made me. Move on, Cassie, Aunt Harriet's voice told me. You're very close to the border of the free state of Pennsylvania. Look for the letter P written on a rock facing north. But still, beware of bounty hunters. They can kidnap you at any time. Until you reach Canada, you are not safe. In New York, a bookbinder hid me in a secret compartment he had built into his wagon. In a downpour of rain, he delivered me to a funeral parlor. There was a funeral going on, so no one noticed me. The undertaker gave me a withered rose. BB had left. Pressed in a book with a note. Dear Cassie, we stayed at the house of a millionaire. He gave Aunt Harriet a bunch of money. We will never be hungry again. Love, BB. The undertaker gave me a fresh-cut rose, hid me in a coffin in his hearse, and took me to Niagara Falls. Now I was just over the bridge from Canada. It's a long story. Niagara Falls looked like a giant tea party with 1 billion cups of steaming hot tea being poured to a resounding applause. The steam from the falls formed a soft blanket that lifted me up above the falls and across the bridge to Canada. I could fly. I was free. I could see Aunt Harriet and Baby with baby Freedom still tied to his back. The passengers on the Underground Railroad and women all dressed in white, flying in a huge circle around them. We're free. We have shook the lion's paw. Aunt Harriet yelled in a voice that shot through the air like a joyous bolt of lightning. Go down, Moses, Bibi said. And let my people go, the others sang out. I kissed Bibi over and over, and I made him promise he'd never, ever leave me again. I love you, Cassie, but I had to go, Bibi said. Freedom is more important than just staying together. And what's more, I got to ride on the Underground Railroad with Harriet Tubman. Now I know what our great-great-grandparents survived when they were children. That day there was a big feast and a quilt celebrating the 100th anniversary of Harriet Tubman's flight to freedom hung in the sky. People came to eat, dance, and sing praise to Aunt Harriet for taking us from slavery to freedom and for being the Moses of her people. And then that is the end of the story. And then they give you a lot of background and biographical information about Harriet Tubman. So the name of this book, someone asked my cousin Lynn, Aunt Harriet's Underground Railroad in the Sky by Faith Ringgold. I want to say hi to everyone that joined me. I see my cousin Lynn and Nadine, Charles Pella, Matt. Hey, Mona. I try to give hope because I'm an educator. And if we don't give hope to our people, then who will? Vernon Walton, Patience. Hi. Lawan, hey, Lawan, thank you. I appreciate that compliment. Caribbean Paradise, I'm not sure who that is. Gloria, Martha Equino, my former student. Hello, Martha. Lynn Grace and Lynn Clyburn. Hello to all of you. I hope any of my grandchildren are watching too. You know, I just want to say story is so important. Please read to your children. These are wonderful books. You know, some of these concepts are too advanced for the younger children, like Valerie's daughter Olivia, who's 6. But they can begin to learn that there were some bad things that happened to Black people or to people. Bad things have happened, and we try to build the good so that they understand that we're all in this together. But it's important for people to understand the strength of a people. And unfortunately, the news does not portray the strength of Black people. It only generally shows us in a negative light. So when you read books that are empowering, stories for children that tell you about important people and contributions that people did, it helps to build, first it builds a sense of pride and unity and validation and comfort. And so we all need to continue to immerse our children in stories, not just about your own culture, but about different cultures. Tomorrow I'm going to read a story about a different culture, and I'll give you a hint. It's about a woman. That's the hint I'll give you. It's about a woman from a different culture. But I enjoy sharing stories with you. Again, if any children or adults want to send me a drawing, you can send it to Dr Helen Tinsley at gmail.com. Thank you, and God bless. Have a good day.